Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to Hunter x Hunter. It's episode 55 and as always, if you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the parentheses, dot parts as real dots and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back over here and listen to what I have to say about this episode. So, see you soon. To those that came back, welcome back. Now, that was a really good episode, and there was a lot of different things in it. So in most cases we have like one or two places where everything is happening. This time it was very split into different small parts. So we had the short fallback in the conversation of Killua and Gon about Greed Island, and that Gon has a plan on how to get it, where I really have no idea what that might be. And yes, 50-50 is quite good compared to a lot of money you have to spend otherwise. Then we had the huge scene with our friends, all four of them sitting together, talking about how to handle the situation with the spiders, talking about the abilities of Kurapika, which is interesting because I learned now that we have seen only two and he has three more we can wait for. And he chained himself only when it comes to using it on the spiders for the chain prison. So that is quite cool. So he will not use that later on, okay? But he has still four more abilities he can use then, just by the chains he has as his weapons. And nowhere is it written that he's not able to use something else, right? He could still create other stuff, like a sword, a staff, I don't know, whatever, right? So there is more to come. So the chain jails against spiders, the judgment chain from his pinky is only to be used when he has scarlet eyes, which he can control now. So that's cool. And he can set rules with it. We know that already from the fight against Uvajin. So, cool. I am not completely sure why Gon offered to have him put a Nen dagger into his heart. I mean, it was possibly like a gesture of you're so determined, so I will be as well. But why? And in the end, Kurapika explained it why he didn't do it. Very fitting. We are friends. And I trust you, and I have good friends, and I know that. So a gesture like that is just not needed. And yes, he put more pressure on them by calling them friends and what that means. But yeah, it's fitting. I like that. That was cool. We will see where this is going. So their plan is a distraction of 1 second, which is really not much, but it means to distract all of the others, I guess. And yes, I can see that we have seen how Kurapika took Yuvo out of the frame by just throwing in his chain, imprisoning him and pulling him out. So something like that it is again, I guess. So he wants to just chain Hakunoda Monida instantly. Makes sense? Sure. It means, however, that they are able to escape fast enough. And the I will use a car, it worked in the past, true. And if the spiders would have an ability, an option to follow them faster, to get in faster, they would have possibly used it at this time. Although we do not know what Chrollo has in this book of his, right? So he is always the big question mark in everything you plan, because he's so adaptable. Because we do not know what he has, and no one else knows what he has in powers in this book. So we've seen this time that he has like a blink ability, a short range teleport ability that he can use on others. So seeing that as example, if he would realize that this chain is coming for Pakunoda and he has his book prepared, he could blink Pakunoda out of the chain instantly. Something like that. But then he has to have the book on the right page, he has to be prepared, so I don't think this works in a real surprise situation. He needs a bit of time. Which brings me to the whole situation. Chrollo, Nobunaga, Hisoka, all the others of the spiders. Was a nice scene, especially thus they showed all of the fortunes for all the characters. And it leaves a lot of questions for me. So, seeing that they know all the other fortunes that they've read now, there always is a mentioning of the one that endangers them, like we know it is Hisoka very likely. They do not know, so I think they guess this unknown person is the chain user. I'm a little bit, I don't know if I could say disappointed. I think it's a bit weird that they, especially Chrollo, who is portrayed as a very clever person, do not think about that there might be more. In this case, Hisoka. The only reason I think why he doesn't and why it works so well for Hisoka right now is because they do have complete and utter trust in the troop. And that is, yeah, a good thing because that was how they worked so good together. That's why they are so efficient. But now that is what will be their doom. Their downfall, because Hisoka is playing them like, plays them perfectly. So, I forgot in the beginning of the episode that the verse that they referred to was the take one from Hisoka. So I was like, what? Kurapika to place a Nen blade in Hisoka as well? So they made kind of a contract. I mean, it would have been possible that we didn't see that, right? But why would Hisoka allow that? I mean, I cannot really believe that Hisoka would anyone put something like that on him. A death option if he betrays. And he is a trickster, so why should he? Even he, I guess, can never be sure if he's not changing his mind the next day. So, it makes sense that he didn't do it. So, but now knowing that it was a fake, he created those verses more or neither instantly. You have to think about it. So he got his own text and he had to think about what do I make before I hand it over. And those were seconds. And he created this verse within seconds out of his mind. Planning that he opens up about having sold them, so he gives them a little bit of truth. And then spices it up with some mystery. And hides a lot of lies beneath that. And that is major. I mean, him fighting, nice, no question. Him being weird as he is, okay. But having the capacity to set up something like that instantly is breathtaking, is awesome, is, well, it's a little bit of frightening to be true. Seeing that he's not really a friend of ours, right? So, he planned on that the troop in general would be like, that's not okay what you have there as a verse. We may consider you an enemy now. And we see Nobunaga, who's very easy when it comes to that, especially thus he's upset due to Yuvo's death and thinking it's Hisoka's fault now. They would go against him. And while he set that up, he had in the back of his mind that Chrollo would be clever enough to guess something else in that. To try to look behind it. And he was right. So Chrollo, using his mind and trusting in Hisoka, and that is a major mistake, thought about how is this maybe possible that although this is written, there's more to it. And strangely enough, what he imagined and what he thought about is more neither exactly what Kurapika did to himself, and possibly could have done to Hisoka if Hisoka would have allowed it. So, setting up an Nen blade inside of him. If he lies, it will be sprung. If he goes against the chain user, he will be killed as well. All of this. those are options that Kurapika used on himself, the Nen Blade inside of him, if he does not follow a specific set of rules. So I can only guess that Hisoka knows a little bit of those abilities of Kurapika and mixed it up. And that's what I meant with telling some truths, mixing it up a bit with half-truth here and mysteries, and then hides the big lie beneath it that he is the real enemy. Because, make no mistake, yes, Kurapika is about to kill them, but the real enemy is Hisoka for the spiders, because he's selling them, he wants to kill the boss, and he works with someone outside of the spiders to get his plan solved. That is the major enemy. And while he did that, he made them stay where they are. They were about to leave. Kurapika would not have followed them, we know that by now. Back in Meteor City, the chances for Hisoka would have been way, way less to get to Chrollo. So that's one thing. He set up, however, this whole charade, and now they're staying. As I said in the beginning, it's a bit hard for me to believe that they are so easily fooled. I don't think it's easily, no question there, but I hope you understand what I mean. That they are fooled, it's hard. Especially thus, the other fortunes more neither tell them to leave, or are so kind of different, right? Only the fortune of Hisoka is so specific about stay where you are, and is telling them something more that in no other fortune is inside. And I think it is a bit to the inexperience with fortunes that they fall for it. If Chrollo would have done, I don't know, some 100 fortunes before and read them, or have them read to him, he would possibly realize differences. Because it seems to me like the fortunes are always very, very vague and very mysterious and not clear in their words, while the one of Hisoka, although having parts of this, has one or two sentences in that are too specific. The don't leave the place. That is just too clear, you know? But whatever. He got through with it. They do as he likes. We will see where this is going. I don't know, man. It's interesting to see that Hisoka is playing his very own game still, and still not got caught. On to the next episode, and until then, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye, and out.